Today we will begin with the first chapter in home science. The first chapter is Introduction to Home Science, and we look into the scope of home science in this chapter. So we begin with what is the significance and why is home science helpful to a student when we study it as a subject in school. So home science is good enough for both boys and girls. It is a subject for the homemaker who is concerned about himself or herself, about the home, family members, and how to use the resources of the family. This is basically taught in home science. So it is an education which is related to better living and helps us to adjust into the family ecosystem. It deals or teaches us how to adjust in a family, how to adjust in a society, and efficiently and scientifically how to use the resources without any wastage. So a person gets knowledge about how to make his home beautiful and at the same time how to improve the environment, the family nutrition, management of resources, and child development. So it's a great vocation also, meaning large number of jobs can be created, or you can get a large number of jobs after studying the subject home science. It's a very professional subject where you can easily get a job. So here we have chapters which will teach you about clothing and textile, food and nutrition, home resources, human development, and extensive education about how to improve the standard of living. So we can say that it is a subject which is meant for both boys and girls. It brings about personal and professional development in both boys and girls. Then it brings about there is no imbalance, means if a boy is studying home science, he will gain less, and while a girl, if she studies home science, will gain more. No, nothing of that sort. It is a subject which will equally benefit both boys and girls. So we begin with the significance. The first point is use of scientific knowledge in managing home life. So it has made, through the study of home science, we will find that we can have a fair idea about how to improve the health, nutrition, psychology, and management skills at home. And a homemaker in his day-to-day life can scientifically manage the household. Because as we know today, the home is also no more like olden times. A lot of scientific gadgets are used. So the homemaker has to run it a bit professionally, unlike olden times. And this knowledge of home science and its skills can definitely create a healthy, happy, and happy family life. Then with the use of available services and facilities, we notice that we can bring a systematic approach to the understanding and utilizing of many services at home, as modern technology will teach us how to run the home efficiently. And for this, a scientific knowledge of home management is very, very important. Economic necessities. Today, more and more women have gone out to work. And when they go out to work, they have to manage their home as well as their time in the professional very efficiently. So home science will teach us about time management, as how to, it will educate us or it will educate a homemaker as how he or she can manage the 24 hours in the most efficient manner through time plans. That is, she has to look after her home as well as her professional very efficiently. And this is helped through the study of time management, which we do through the subject of home science. Managing day-to-day family affairs. Today, human relations in a family have undergone a huge change. Family values have changed. People are becoming more individualistic. That is, they think about themselves and not as a family as a whole, which is a very difficult situation. So, in this context, children face a lot of psychological problems, unlike olden days. They find it very difficult to make adjustments in their own life. And hence, for this matter, we notice that through the psychological study, which is included in this subject, we are able to solve many family problems. Because children grow up in very complex psychological environments in today's time. And they see a lot of violence, abuse, and crimes, unlike olden days. So psychologically, they are very weak. So we have to try through the branch of child development in home science how to install a proper social and emotional development during the growth of a child. Then preparing for a healthy and purposeful life. Happiness and peace in the family is very important. So the goals have to be that it has to try to create a good environment where family health is taken into account. And when we talk about family health, it is not that only through nutrition it can be achieved. Yes, through nutrition we can achieve the physical development of the family members, a healthy physical development of the family members. But at the same time, a good psychological development is also important. So, childcare, nutrition, education is very, very important. Then lately, people have become very house proud. That means everyone wants to stay in a beautiful house or home these days. So, through the study of home science, we look into home decoration as how we can decorate a home, what should be the correct color scheme, what textiles, will be needed for upholstery, for curtains, etc., are taught here. Then the use of various clothings in our daily life, textiles and clothings in our daily life, also is taught through the branch of textile and clothing. Then simple changes are how we can do certain artwork in textiles, which will help in our profession in future also, like batik, tie and dye, and other forms of printing. Simple printing methods are taught, which if you pursue, you can definitely get a job in the textile industry. Then, in this subject, we study about elderly care and management and what all first aid needs to be implemented in case of an emergency at home is also taught in this subject. It teaches us how to live with each and every family member, which comprises of different age groups, and how to make adjustments with them, whether it's food, whether it's the behavior, is taught through this subject. So study of human relations is also a part of home science. Hence, it is a very complex subject, meaning it has got branches of a number of subjects which have been included together to form a complete subject for a homemaker to lead a beautiful family life. So there is education about family life in the study of home science, where development of right values, appreciation, understanding for better family life is instilled. Then functions of parenthood, responsibilities of family members, management of one's resources in the best possible way is so that you can have a sound philosophical and personal family life is stressed during the study of this subject. So it carefully weighs and balances competing demands and making intelligent selections and decisions so that we can include the different branches of science, of human relationships, of child care together in this subject. Now, when we study the structure of home science, we look into the different levels of knowledge and behavior for achieving a complete knowledge of the subject. And for this, we have different branches. One is food and nutrition, which will teach us the nutritive value of the different food items that we consume, how to plan a menu for the entire family, keeping in mind that many family members may be suffering from different diseases, very common ailments like diabetes, heart disease, etc., especially among the elderly at home. And at the same time, we have got the younger generation staying at home. So we have to keep their nutritive value also in mind. As it is a growing phase, so hence they will be needing more of proteins and carbohydrates for giving them energy to perform their what you call heavy schedule, where they do a lot of physical activity in comparison to the elderly. Then we have clothing and textile, which will give an insight or teach us how to manage textile at home and what sort of clothing will be comfortable in different climatic conditions. Home management, human development, education and extension are the other branches. So, let's look into the importance of studying home science. The one, to begin with, the first point, scientific knowledge. Home science educates the students about new methods which can be used in our daily life, which will help us to improve a life, that is, we move towards better living. So it is a way of helping a person so that he can understand the new technologies and the new methods that can be adopted for a better living. Modern facilities like fuel management, the different types of fuel that has come into use these days, like solar cooking, microwave cooking, has been or is taught through this subject. Then a bit of economics is also taught as how to manage the family resources. That is money management, but steps in banking. The simple steps of banking, which is utilized by each and every family, is also explained in this subject. It is of economic importance because it teaches us how to utilize our time, energy, and money in the best possible manner. So the principle of management is also taught. So that students have a knowledge as how to make a good home and how to earn a living for themselves, and at the same time, what will be the way of saving money for difficult times. So a student is taught through the branch of homes, through the study of home science, different ways of entering a profession where you can have a good wage or where you can earn enough money to run your home, and at the same time it also teaches us how to save money, how a family saves money for the bad times during future. It prepares for the change to come and provides solution to simple household problems. Like today we find that there are few family members in each family. We are all mostly living in nuclear families and not in joint families. Hence, for this reason, today women have to come out to work because the family income of only the man is not enough. So women are also contributing to the family income. As a result of this, a lot of psychological and sociological problems arise at home. So a balance has to be created between the work front, in the work front, home, and society, which is taught in this branch of home science, where a woman gets enough knowledge as how to solve her family problems. Because today she is also a bread earner along with her husband. So as a result of this factor, a balance has to be created for her, psychologically and sociologically. Preservation and transmission of culture. Now, every family, every country has its own culture, which is inherited. And just because we have moved into modern times doesn't mean that we will give up or overlook our culture and traditions. So this has to be passed on from one generation to another. And preservation and transmission of culture is taught in this subject. That is, children are taught as how to do what you call floor decorations, flower arrangement, choose menus for different festivals at home. So these are factors which will help them to realize how they can preserve the culture at home. Home science combines both science and arts and teaches us to combine them so that we can lead a healthy and happy life at home. Then it looks into the happiness of the family as how they can achieve good health, better nutrition, better economy, and how to utilize the resources in the best possible way for family happiness and to achieve their goals of the family. Number of professions can be created through the study of home science. Either you can become self-employed, like that is, you can create an employment for yourself through the preservation, learning preservation or following preservation courses like making jam, jellies, fruit squash, etc. at home. Or you can go into jobs where you will be employed as a dietitian. You can go in for nursing, teaching, hotel management, textile designing, and so on. So home science gives an individual, even if you're not academically very bright, even if you have not scored high marks in your various subjects, you still have an opening, or you still will be able to get a job in different spheres. That is, you can become a dietitian if you have got a good knowledge of food and nutrition. You can go into nursing. You can go into teaching, hotel management, and so on. So it ultimately makes a person very self-reliant, and you become, personality-wise, it develops your personality and you become a very confident individual. Both the personality and character of the person is enhanced through the study of home science. It helps in personality development because it looks into your cognitive, emotional, and social development, which changes in every sphere of life, that is from childhood to old age. So this is studied through the subject of home science. Now we will move on to the next topics in my next class. That's all for today. Thank you.